Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Kicks and Curve podcast. Today, we are talking about the only thing that anybody is talking about is this Manchester United team, the worst Manchester United team in the history of Manchester United. This statement by Ruben Amorim has been the talk of the week so far, and pundits and fans have all made their stance known on this matter. What do you think of it? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. For me personally, I think this is an absurd statement to make. These are still the players that he has to work with. And I watched the entire interview to kind of get the full context of the quote. He does say that you want your headline. There is your headline. We are being the worst team in the history of Manchester United, and we have to acknowledge that and change that. And as much as that statement feels like a dig at Eric Ten Hag or the board or even the journalist, maybe he thinks that they are needling him to get some responses, or maybe he did not expect this level of scrutiny or pressure from the press. I do not understand why he would make that comment. And now he has had to backtrack on it. He said in another interview that he was more talking about himself when he said that, and there's a separate backlash for that. Now I understand that English is not his first language, things can be misinterpreted and all of that, but the worst team statement seemed like a very clear message that Ruben Amorim wanted to send. To whom, I do not know. There were also reports that it was a tense dressing room after the loss to Brighton, in which a TV was apparently sacrificed. And I don't know, to me it seems like Ruben Amorim is trying to change United. And I think everybody can agree that it is needed. But I do not think that this is the way to do it. I mean, sure, he can bench people who are not performing well in the training, or he can leave them out of the squad altogether, like he's done with Rashford and sometimes with Garnacho. As the manager, those are his decisions to make. And in the press conference after the Brighton game, the journalist did press him on it. Apparently Rashford being the best forward in this Manchester United team and why he's being left out and all those things. And he was right to say that we do not need to talk about him because it is his choice, his actions that have landed him in the position, which is fair. And I would put some blame on the journalists too. Like, Rashford has a choice to make. There's a new coach, and you either get with the program or you leave. And it seems Rashford has chosen to leave. And Amorim has no obligation to play him or put him into the squad. What happens with his future is not clear, whether these links to Barcelona are strong or not. But Rashford has made his choice. But Amorim would have had to know that this won't be this simple. This team has been assembled by Eric Ten Hag to play his system, whatever the fuck that system may have been. And now Ruben Amorim has to implement his playing style with Eric Ten Hag's players. And Manchester United are finding it very hard to offload these players that have been brought for such high prices. And all this was known information. Even I foresaw this. I knew that it was going to be difficult. My stance from the beginning was that if they really do want to get Amorim, they should have gotten him in the summer. And Amorim's stance to not change his tactics is firm. And therefore he has made it very clear that the fans and the club and their performance will suffer, and it will get worse before it gets better. But was this the best way to express his feelings? Could he have not said it in a different way, like maybe saying that the players have had to adapt to a very different system, not just playing their own game, but then also to learn how to stop the opponents. And every team in the Premier League is going to be a difficult game, so I need to help the players adapt to our playing style as soon as possible. Something where it does not conveys, overly obviously conveys that everybody in the team is a piece of shit. Because there are players who are doing good under this manager. There are players that he would want to retain. And he is in a team where if if these players do not like the manager, they just stop playing well and then get the manager fired. How many Manchester United fans had said that they were excited when their new managers came in, when Ole came in, when Jose Mourinho came in, even when Eric Ten Hag came in? And what happened? At least right now I can see a lot of fans saying that, realizing that the players might have been the problem all along, or at least in the recent years it could have been the players who are performing bad on purpose or otherwise, I don't know. But like, statements like these are not going to endear Amorim to the players or the management, and that is why he has had to backtrack on his previous statement. And why are Manchester United PR not prepping him properly? He's already finding it difficult to achieve results with these players. Why make the situation even worse for yourself by losing the dressing room? The TV thing, I'm not really sure if it happened or if it is just a rumor, but Amorim does not have enough credit in the bank to be doing these things. Like, did he just read Sir Alex's biography and he read that he threw a shoe at Beckham or something like that? Is that what he's trying to do? He has to establish himself as the boss, as the authority figure in that dressing room. But not like this. You cannot be doing things Sir Alex Ferguson did without first achieving the things Sir Alex Ferguson achieved. As for his system, I think similar to Ange, I think he needs to adapt it to the players that he has. Ange has been criticized the same way because of the injuries they have had. Their replacement players are not good enough to play the system, and similar to Amorim, a lot of these players are not the players Ange wanted. So why is the sentiment different to Amorim? His success has been with the Portuguese league, and I'm not trying to put anybody down here, but both the leagues are different, the competition levels are different. Whether or not his tactics work in the Premier League, we will not know until he can get the team and the player he wants. And I think Manchester United are getting in the same cycle as they did with their previous managers. And I saw this post on the Athletic FC Instagram page by Kieran Maguire, who is a football finance expert. And he said in that Manchester United are living a Champions League lifestyle or on Europa League income. And Manchester United have said that financial losses put the club at risk of PSR breach. They're currently 13th in the table, and while I do not see Leicester, Southampton going on a run, Wolves, Ipswich, Everton can have some crazy results, even West Ham. And if Tottenham gets some of their injured players back, and especially their centre-backs, maybe they can squeeze out some results that can alleviate that threat of relegation for them. But can I say the same thing for Manchester United? Not really, because there's a difference between Amorim and Ange's situation. Ange's players can and will come back. Amorim just does not have those players, and it will take many transfer windows for him to get his players. Whether he gets that time or not remains to be seen, but antagonizing your current team and alienating them does not seem like the best strategy to employ. And I feel for Amorim, when he played one of the last games that he played as the Sporting head coach was against Manchester City in the Champions League. And for him to beat the defending champions of England, sure, they were stumbling at the time, but to achieve that could have given him hope, right? That, I mean, sure, Manchester United might not have every single player that I need, but I mean, I should be able to do it if I can beat their defending champions. But he's managed to get 2 wins in the last 10 Premier League games. And this is the problem. This is the problem with these owners making these absurd decisions, because first of all, they should not have retained Eric Ten Hag just because he won them the FA Cup. Even if they did decide to do so, should not have given him more money to spend. Even if they did decide to do that, could have just seen him through. But if they did have to decide to fire him, could have just let Ruud van Nistelrooy take care of the club until Ruben Amorim came in the summer. Because while it is difficult for Manchester United to just give him the team that Amorim wants, at least a preseason would have been helpful, as opposed to him coming in a chaotic period and now having this threat of relegation being loomed over Manchester United. Do I think they will be relegated? I don't know, and I will put all of my Liverpool bias aside, okay? My feelings towards Manchester United as a Liverpool fan are very different than my feelings towards Manchester United as a football fan, because it is still one of the biggest clubs in the world. And for Amorim, of course, like, he's getting a little bit of the success with Sporting and everything. He has this radical system of playing, and then one of the best clubs, one of the biggest clubs, not the best, the biggest clubs in the world comes and says, hey, we want you to improve us. And I can understand why Amorim fell for it. I would still place the blame more on the management, and like, just have people who know the sport to make these decisions for you. It remains to be seen what happens with Manchester United, but I think Amorim needs to start maybe a culture of reciprocity in the dressing room. If the players are finding it difficult to adapt to that system, maybe extend that first step of being like, okay, let's make some tweaks if 3 at the back is currently being difficult, because I know that your morale is down because we are not getting results, and so let's tweak it a little bit so that there is a reciprocity that starts, so that the players can see that, okay, the manager is willing to change things for us, and so therefore we should be putting in more effort, or me should be trying to do more to play the way he wants to play. The adamant nature of being like, it's my way or the highway with this squad in the system that he wants to play just does not make sense to me. But I mean, it remains to be seen what happens. And because the thing is that Manchester United are tied with West Ham in points, and are only up by the goal difference. Tottenham is behind them by 2 points, 1 win for either of them, and dropped points for Manchester United. Will see both of these teams go ahead of Manchester United. So every game week that passes and Manchester United kind of not getting these results is a threat, not just to Manchester United and being relegated, but just the fact that there are very few teams that have been in the Premier League that have never been relegated and all that, and it's got to be a thing of pride. But now it is under threat because of the stupid decisions that the management has taken, and a little bit of adamant behavior from Amorim. And on top of that, to be saying these things, it is just crazy to be making these statements. But let us know your thoughts in the comments. What do you think? What do you think Amorim should have done better? Or if you think what he said was right, we can all have a discussion in the comment section. So until we come back for talk about the next game week that happens, thank you for watching, and bye.